all the right ingredients, uninhibited, and exposing the hard, cold facts about the Watchtower Society. Disney.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome in. My goodness gracious, we get a lot of people coming into the 6 screens tonight. Thank you for doing that. We have got Dick and Constance, D&C. Their program is coming up here next, right here on the 6 Screens Network. We're so glad that we have so many people, as we say, listening in. Let's bring Dick and Constance on right now and make sure we can hear them all right. Okay. Hello, Dick. Hello, Constance.
Right there.
Hey, Rick.
So there you are. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there you are. You got this figured out now. So that's very good. So, boy, I tell you, we got a lot of people coming in here tonight. It's unreal. It really is. There's more and more people leaving the Watchtower. And as they leave, they're trying to find out. They're listening to Mike and Kim. They're listening to Cedars. They're listening to all the people on YouTube and listening in here. This is where ex-Jehovah's Witnesses come to talk. And you guys are with us tonight. So what's on the agenda tonight?
Well, Rick, we're going to go back and we're going to be talking about the Freemasons a little bit. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. As the audience probably knows, we don't quote scriptures a lot on Saturday night. And we don't talk about politics. But there's so much happening in the world today that we're going to touch on it because we feel that after doing a lot of research on it, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing on TV comes from the cults. It comes from organizations that are diabolical, such as the Freemasons. And that's the program that we did 2 weeks ago. But there was so much that was left on the cutting room floor that we just felt it was the audience just should know about it. So if I could, I'd like to start off with just one scripture tonight and see if you all feel it's apropos. It comes from Leviticus. It's Leviticus 14:14. And it reads, "The priest shall then take some of the blood of the guilt offering, and the priest shall put it on the lobe of the right ear of the one to be cleansed, and on the thumb of the right hand, and on the big toe of the right foot." When I was reading that, I was just watching TV, and everything is about the assassination attempt on former President Trump. And I said, well, that scripture almost is verbatim, but I am not trying to say that Trump is the person that has to be cleansed. And then I thought, well, there's no blood on his right toe. And just as I said that, I looked up on the TV screen, and there was the shoe of President Trump right next to the podium. And I thought, I wonder if it's possible that, and it seemed kind of probable, that if you have an ear that's quite vascular, all your skull, all that area is quite vascular, it contains a lot of blood. Certainly had blood on his ear. We all saw that. And obviously he had blood on his hand because that's where he put his hand up to cover his ear. And I wonder if some drops of blood didn't fall on his sock and drip through to his toe. I'm just wondering. I don't know, and I'm not trying to say the scriptures are pointing anything, saying that Donald Trump is somehow anointed or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but I wonder about it. I'm like I said, we don't usually talk politics, but I'm a big Trump guy. I believe I see Trump the same way I see George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Trump. I see them all as being the same. Okay, that's my little thing on that. And there's also, and this is the last scripture I'm going to touch on, is Isaiah 5:20. It says, when good is bad and bad is good, woe to anyone who likes what the scriptures say is bad and hates what the scriptures say is good. Woe to that person. And I think that's direct reference to that we're living in very tumultuous times. I don't want to be the Watchtower and say, Armageddon's coming, it's right around the corner, but I think we're living in perilous times. I've never seen the world as crazy as it is, taking children away from their parents, so to speak, and mutilating their genitalia, and telling young boys and young girls that if you think you're a boy, we can do something, and you're a girl, we can do something about it. It's just crazy times that we're living in. And the reason I bring all that up, you might say, well, what does that have to do with, the Mormons or the Jehovah's Witnesses? But we're going to harken back to the Freemasons, because a lot of what's happening in today's society is direct reference to those folks. They are a clandestine organization started in 1717, and there's rituals that you have to go through. And, they have a ladder that you're supposed to climb, and you climb this ladder and you get to the lodge in the sky, and then that's synonymous with being in heaven, which it's not. But as you go up this ladder, you pray to different gods of the occult, whether it be Ra or a couple others.
It could be any of them, because they believe that all roads lead to
Mhm.
God. It doesn't matter what God you worship.
Yeah, exactly. It's Baal, and these gods were very sadistic, very mean, throwing children into the fire,
Baal and
infants. Yeah, all these horrible gods.
Moloch. Mhm.
And when you are associated with the Masons, you're associating yourself with those gods. And like I said, they're perverted, they're disgusting. And if you do the history of ancient Egypt, where a lot of that was born,
Mhm.
you're going to see all these rituals,
Mhm.
and they change them a little bit,
Mhm.
but they're still current in our society today.
Mhm.
And these organizations, they're esoteric, it means they're clandestine, they're secretive. You can't tell this, you can't tell the secrets of, like, say, the Masons, because you sign a blood oath that if you tell any of the secrets of the Masons, you can
lose
be
your
killed.
life.
You lose your life.
lose
I
your
mean,
life.
it's not that they just hang you and it's over in 10 minutes. They pull your tongue out,
Mhm.
they slit your
It's very
throat, they
serious.
cut your stomach in half and let your bowels hang out.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
Very
pretty
serious.
mean, nasty stuff.
Mhm.
Just as mean and nasty as it was in, centuries ago when they worshiped Baal, and they threw babies into
Children.
into the fire. They sacrificed them.
Mhm.
They sacrificed those babies so they could get something in return.
Mhm.
And what they wanted in return was a good harvest.
Mhm.
Well, in the JW worlds,
Mhm.
that's what they do. You sacrifice your time on this earth. You preach, you teach, you build kingdom halls, you do this, you do that. And you know what? You're going to get the prize, everlasting life on paradise earth. It's a carrot. It's a carrot they're holding out. They will get your time, they'll get your labor, and they will get your money. And that's what they're after. They're going to trick you to believe that you should give them your money, your labor, and your time. In return, you get everlasting life on paradise earth. Brothers, it's a scam. It's a scam. And they've gotten rich, filthy rich on that scam.
Can I say something there?
Joshua,
I was going to say one thing about the Freemasons that we were talking about last week, excuse me, that we'd like to carry over to tonight is, on the outside, it looks like it's a very, very good old boys club. Oh, they do good for the community. Look at the Shriners. They have 22, 23 different hospitals in this country alone. They do a lot to help children, which is true. But the thing is, it's an organization that goes a lot deeper than that, just like Watchtower, right? And Watchtower also has connections with Freemasons. They do. And the Freemasons, it is, like I say, it's a works organization. They have 33 levels, and the very top is known as the Grand Master. And the Masons have been involved in every level of the world. They've been in the Supreme Court. They've been presidents. They've been in very high places, judges of different courts around the world. I mean, you name it, they're just all over the place, just like how the witnesses just spread out to go through all the different lands and countries. But the point that I'm trying to make is that they have very deep, dark, occultic practices, okay? And so you're thinking, well, what does this really have to do with Watchtower? Well, this organization, the Freemasons, they're a secret society, okay? Not anybody can just become a Freemason. And there's different groups, like we said last week. There's the Scottish Rites, there's the York Rites, there's the Prince Hall for the African Americans. Then they have it for the juniors, meaning the children, the teenagers. They have the Rainbow Girls for the young girls. They have the Eastern Star for the wives that are women. It's Freemason, but it's not the man's version, it's a women's version. And so it's quite extensive. Well, the thing that's very interesting is that they are a secret society, and they have secret handshakes. They have secret ways of standing. And the other thing I'd like to say, and they have bloody oaths, like we said last week. Okay, they have bloody oaths, really bloody oaths. And what I wanted to say is with regards to the 33 degrees, okay, every single degree has a bloody oath that they have to profess, okay? And the thing is, where did they get 33? Okay, well, what they say and who they are two different things. They say, they try to put a scriptural spin on it. Well, you know, Lucifer was up in heaven, and a third of the angels were cast down onto the earth from the heavens with Lucifer. So that's where they come up with 33. Okay, but 33 is an occult number. Okay, in the world of the occult, numerology is very, very important, and 33 is one of them. Okay, so I just wanted to say this, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, let's tie it in with Watchtower, okay? Because that's who we are, were, so forth. Okay, you might want to take some notes on this, because I thought this was very, very interesting. And the thing is, with regards to the Freemasons, bottom line, I don't care if it's the Freemasons, I don't care if it's the women's version of it, which is Eastern Star. They have all these symbols. The women's is a pentagram, which is Lucifer, right? My grandparents were deeply involved in this, and those are the symbols that are on their graves. They were very proud of it. Anyway, but they do worship Lucifer. This is what I wanted to say that I thought was very, very interesting with regards to Watchtower. There was a Watchtower back in July 1st of 1965, page 406. Okay, Watchtower 7165, page 406. And it said how Lucifer, the meaning of Lucifer is the light bearer. Now we know that because that's what the scriptures teach. And the point of that Watchtower was saying that the light bearer is the name that's applied to Satan the devil. Well, we all know that. Okay, then you fast forward all these years later, and I thought this was very interesting. I was pretty much out of the organization by this time, and I do not remember this Watchtower. So this Watchtower was May 1st, 93, page 12. May 1st, 1993, page 12. And the title of that Watchtower was Jehovah's Witnesses Are the Modern Light Bearers. Okay, so we're trying to make the connection between Watchtower, that they put things right in front of your face, but
Yes, they do.
sometimes people are just not fully aware of really what they're trying to say. There was sometime back, there was an article that I'm trying to think if it's the Watchtower or the Awake, but anyway, it had little Caleb, Sophia and Caleb, and Sophia, the little girl, the cartoon character. She was on her bed, and her bed was really scrolly, just a little scrolly design. And what's interesting, if you really didn't know what to look for with regards to pedophilia symbols, okay, it had the pedophile symbol on that bed. And most people would have never caught that. But the FBI and other agencies have that because they're very much aware of that. See, Watchtower has these symbolisms. That's what we're trying to say. They have these symbols that many JWs are not aware of, and we're just trying to bring this to your attention.
One of the symbols that quite prevalent that you all know about, if you get a picture of Jehovah's Witnesses' first convention, I believe it was 1919 at the Cedar Point, Ohio convention, and they had a moniker up on top of the stage and said, Jehovah's Witness convention, and then they had the cross and the crown. Anytime you see a cross and a crown, you will see that the cross is not straight up. It's not a 90 degrees straight up. It's at an angle going down, and that's a 33 degree angle.
Right.
Okay. They had that on the early Watchtower magazines till Rutherford came along and said that Jesus didn't die on a cross. Jehovah's Witnesses do not know the power that's in the cross. They don't have any idea.
Right.
They think it's a lie. The Christendom told that Jesus died on a torture stake. He did not. He died on a crucifix.
Well, the other thing I wanted to say is that symbol, that cross and that crown, they have the crown because Freemasonry started in 1717 in England.
Yep.
And it's prevalent, extremely prevalent in England, in the monarchy.
Yeah, the crown was the seat of power in England.
Right.
It was the queen or the king, and they wore a crown. So
Right.
that's where it came from.
Right. So the thing is, but when you tie it in with Freemasonry, they also have the same symbolism, the cross with the crown with the Knights Templar. Okay. So we were tying in 2 weeks ago how Charles Taze Russell was associated with the Freemasons, and it was on the early magazines. Remember the Christian Herald,
the
Christ
BBC,
Herald.
the BBC did a deep dive into the Masons and how powerful they were. They were in every place. A lot of people don't know that Teddy Roosevelt and I'm sorry, not Teddy Roosevelt, the one that dropped the bomb.
Truman.
Truman, thank you. Truman.
Truman was
John
a Shriner.
Wayne.
He was a Shriner.
George Washington. Most of the founding fathers were Masons. And it's a fact. There's just so many people you don't even know that were Masons. And the reason you don't know, it's a pretty clandestine organization. They have their secret handshakes, and a lot of the spin-off cults like Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, Scientologists, Amish, they all have their secret rituals. And if you don't play the game the way they want you to play it, they hurt you. If you could actually be killed in some of these organizations. Jehovah's Witnesses, if you leave or you disfellowship or you write a letter, tell them you want to disassociate yourself, they are going to hurt you. They're going to say, well, so-and-so, sister so-and-so was a Jehovah's Witness, but now she is no longer a Jehovah's Witness. And so your mind goes, oh, what did she do? Or what did he do? There are a lot of good people that see that Jehovah's Witnesses is a cult, and they leave and they try to destroy them. If your job, if you work for a Jehovah's Witness, you'll more than likely lose your job. If you have brothers and sisters that are Jehovah's Witnesses, more than likely they won't talk to you anymore. If you have a spouse that's Jehovah's Witness and you don't want to be, it could wreck your marriage. It happens all the time. And if you are thrown out, you could be so depressed that you commit suicide. It was alluded to earlier in the program. There is a high rate of suicide in the Watchtower. They won't tell you that, but it is a fact. It's a fact. You know, when you find out for real that a lot of your elders and your governing body members are pedophiles. One of the reasons we can tie Freemasonry into the Watchtower very, very easily. But the point I want you to realize, and I brought it up 2 weeks ago now, is that the sign that they wear on their rings and on their jewelry and so forth, the Mason sign is a square, which
And a
if you're
compass.
in a compass, if you're into carpentry, you'll know what that is. And in the middle, they have a big G. I guess that stands for God, right?
God.
Okay. Stephen Lett.
And sometimes they have the seeing eye
Yeah, the seeing eyes.
with the
another.
rays.
Yeah, if you were to ever grab one of the Bibles they use to indoctrinate their people with, or to take blood oaths on in their ceremony to become a Mason, one of the Bibles that they use is a Bible from
Well, the Oxford.
the Oxford Bible with
Bible.
all the symbols of ancient
Egypt.
Egypt. So there's a couple, but here's your governing body, Stephen Lett. And it showed in one of the YouTube videos. I said, well, look at that. They pointed, you couldn't miss it. We saw it, and all those other governing body members, they've seen it. And he's still a governing body member. They kicked Tight Pants Tony off, but they kept him. If anybody looks really weird, I've seen a talk years ago that Stephen Lett gave. And I'm saying, there's just something, I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with this guy. There's mannerisms. He opens his eyes wide. He opens his mouth. Jehovah says, I said, this guy's a whack job. There was something, I can't put it in words, but if you watch anything that Stephen Lett does, you'd say, this guy's a whack job. And I know Gilbert said something, I want to repeat it.
Well,
couple of
about
months
children.
ago.
Remember how they said children are enemies of God?
Yeah. Was that Lett?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Children are enemies of
God.
God. What a sick son of a
Very
gun.
evil.
Like Gilbert was saying, there's no testosterone on the governing
Among
body.
the men?
Not one of those people on the governing body or board of directors, call it what you will, has fathered a child.
Currently.
Well, yeah, we had former JW governing body members like Tight Pants.
Tony Morris.
He brought a child into the world, but I don't believe you're ever going to find a board of directors with 8 men, maybe sometimes 10, sometimes less. Find 8 middle-aged men that haven't produced a child, or have at least grandchildren or produced a child. I don't know the answer to that. That's up to you folks that listen to the program.
I don't think a lot of people know that.
No, they probably don't.
I don't think they do.
Probably don't. But I was just watching. I'm telling you, folks, there is so much wonderful information on YouTube. I'm absolutely enthralled watching it. And I've seen a recent one, by Lett, Stephen Lett, and he's not wearing the ring anymore.
Yeah, no, he's
Now,
not.
I'd like to go on a big ego trip and say, somehow the Watchtower heard me and Connie's program and he's taking the ring off. But that's probably not the case. But anyway, I had a
Well, they're being exposed.
They're being exposed. I had a sister-in-law, Mabel McDonald was her name, And she decided one year that she was going to put a Santa Claus on a lapel and on her jacket. And an elder, we all worked at the same company, elder saw it and said, "What are you doing?" And she blew him off. So they had a judicial meeting. She didn't show up. So they disfellowshipped her.
Mhm.
They disfellowshipped her for wearing a Santa Claus. Well,
Little lapel.
on the
Yeah,
lapel, yeah,
yeah.
on
Just
the
little
lapel.
Yeah.
I mean, Santa Claus, Santa's very close to the word Satan, and it's a lie for sure.
Well, it's Christmas. Yeah.
But how bad is Santa Claus?
Mhm.
How absolutely terrible and bad is the Masons. They worship false gods, and if you are caught telling the secrets of the Masons, you can be killed, and men have been killed by these people.
Okay, but it goes further. It goes a lot deeper than
Okay.
that.
Mhm.
They have several people like Manly P. Hall. They have Albert Pike. They have, a lot of big heavy hitters. There were 4 of them who were very instrumental in Freemasonry. And they all brought something new to Freemasonry. And Eliphas, it's a very different name. Eliphas Levi is his name. He brought Baphomet into Freemasonry. Now, some of you might know what Baphomet is or what it's not. It's basically a figure that signifies Lucifer, and it has, the 2 fingers up. Let's see if we can do that. The 2 fingers up
Mhm.
that they use in
Catholicism uses it too.
Catholicism all the time. Okay. And then the other thing is it has the horns like a goat. It has 2 little children down below. It has 1 arm up and 1 arm down to signify something. It has breasts like a woman and a penis like a man. So it's, very
Goat's head.
well, it has both sexes.
Mhm.
And it signifies Lucifer. And so Eliphas, Eliphas, Eliphas Levi brought that into Freemasonry. So one thing I would like to say, though, something you said earlier, Rich, in reference to the different degrees in Freemasonry and so forth, in that Bible, the Oxford Bible,
Mhm.
right? When you look at the very back of it, of the Oxford Bible, they have all these symbols that are Egyptian symbols. And they have the Egyptian gods and goddesses, Ra and so forth. All the, Egypt worshiped so many gods, it was unbelievable. And even the pharaohs, of course, were considered gods. Well, what's interesting is that in Egypt, they performed the deepest and the darkest of the occult practices. And something I just wanted to say is you find that sort of interesting, right? That's one point. But then when you go back to Watchtower history and you look at Charles Taze Russell, right?
Mhm.
Charles Taze Russell, he went to Egypt to go explore the pyramids and study pyramidology, the study of pyramids, and numerology, the study of numbers, which is very occult, and astrology and so forth with the Pleiades. So Watchtower doesn't want you to know that now, but that was their original founder, C.T. Russell. Well, isn't it interesting too that Alistar Crowley was known as one of the wickedest man that ever lived. He was raised in a Christian household, but somehow, some way, he became very, very evil. And anyway, he had his information with regards to the occult and magic and all of that. Anton LaVey from San Francisco the Black Pope, was very interested in Aleister Crowley's teachings. Okay. So my point is this: Aleister Crowley also, he was in the 1800s. He also went to Egypt, and he had some kind of vision with Answa. It was a spirit medium. So my point that I'm trying to make is the Freemasons are involved with that. C.T. Russell was, and also Aleister Crowley. So when you start digging through all of this information, Watchtower is not just about, doing good things for people in the community, helping them to have Bible studies, learn about God and so forth. The Freemasons, that's what they teach. Did you know that? That's what they teach. Oh, we're good people. We're earning our way. We do good deeds and so forth, just like the Shriners, right?
Yeah, I want to pick up on Connie's point. The one thing that all these cults and the Masons all have in common is there's an appearance of righteousness.
Right.
There is an appearance of we're do-gooders. If you see some like the Shriners, they get all their children's hospitals. And guess what? If you don't have the money for your child's medical expenses,
right.
They'll pay it for you. What a wonderful, wonderful organization. On the surface, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh,
They come to the door,
dresses.
three-piece suits in the summertime where most people are off on Saturday, they go on the beach, they're knocking on your door, preaching the Bible, showing you Bible scriptures and so forth. But when you take that veil, put that aside, take that curtain, open that curtain and really look into it.
Right.
What do you see? You see money laundering, you see pedophile, you see lies, you see deception.
Well, secrets, a lot of secrets.
A lot of secrets. I mean, when you have a trial, let's say O.J. Simpson, just let's say, it's on TV, you could hear his attorneys, what they have to say, you could hear what the prosecutors have to say, you can make your own decision. In the Watchtower, that's not how it is. If you're in some kind of trouble, you're accused of doing something wrong, or you confess to wrongdoing, it's a secret. They take you in the back room. Supposedly, nobody finds out. They have a little trial, and they decide whether or not to throw you out or let you stay in.
Even if you're a teenager, you can't have your parents there.
I mean,
Right?
it's right. It is so unfair. And as Joe Dyer used to say, it just depends on the elders that you get.
In your congregation.
Yep. I mean, it happened to me.
Right.
I had one elder that did not want to disfellowship me. They took him off. They put another elder on that would. And that's how it went. Very, very corrupt. I could do hours and hours and hours.
Well, I just wanted to add how Watchtower is so secret. So the judicial committee meetings are very secret. Okay. When was the last time Watchtower has really revealed all of their finances? You never see their annual report of how much money this organization brings in on a yearly basis, so forth. All they do is continue to ask for more and more money, and they cry poor at all of the congregations and the conventions. Then their database. What about their database for child sexual abuse?
Yeah, they hid that.
Okay,
That was
they've hidden that, and they were charged what was it, $4,000 a day down there in San Diego
Australia.
with Erwin Zolkin, who was trying to get the database, and he was charging that he wanted the entire database of all of the pedophiles in the Jehovah's Witnesses organization, and they would not comply. And so the court said, well, we're going to charge you $4,000 a day.
Wow.
And Watchtower didn't care. So
Yeah.
they're not even transparent with regards to how many pedophiles they have. And that's pretty darn scary,
And
right?
they're loaded with them too. And doing that clandestine stuff.
Yeah.
They write letters to the elders, and it says, "Do not put this on the bulletin board.
No.
Do not discuss this in front of the congregation.
Right.
For elders only.
Only.
Elders only."
Mhm.
Well, what kind of a deal? And you alluded to it, Connie, really well. They hide their money. You just
Oh,
never
sure they do.
know. They've got many, many shell companies. They get stuff that's offshore, and it's like I said, it is very clandestine. You can't get a straight answer from them about anything. Just a little brief personal thing. I ride with an organization called Motorcycling, Rolling Thunder, and we have a meeting every month, and the minutes are there. Everything that happened on our board of directors, and anything that happened monetarily because we raise money and then we give it out. Everything is there. And we print it out and we have a bunch of copies. Anybody who wants a copy of our finances, we read it out so everyone to knows. And if anybody wants a copy to take home and go over it again, we give it to them.
Right. It should be transparent,
Yeah.
but Watchtower is not transparent. And then what about when there is a pedophile, which we know there's plenty of them in the organization? The thing is, what about when the elders make their notes? They're told, there's that video that was leaked in Bethel that got out. And anyway, the elders are told, don't write any little notes on the side of your judicial committee meetings. And the reason for that is because the authorities can come down and we can be busted for that. And Watchtower is terrified of the lawsuits, so they're trying to cover their fannies. But the point I wanted to make is, it is a crime whenever you sexually abuse a child. Okay, it is an absolute crime. But unfortunately, Watchtower does not consider it a crime. They just consider it a sin. And for the most part, they are not reporting it to the authorities. They're covering it up. So we're here to expose that. And the other point I wanted to make is when the elders do have that situation in their congregation, this is where it's hush hush. This is where, again, is a secret society, because Watchtower got this from Freemasonry with Charles Taze Russell's connections. But the thing is, they have a blue envelope. You elders know that, okay, or former elders. And there's a blue envelope, and it's submitted to either the legal department and or the service department, or both. And that is discussing about who the pedophile is in the congregation. And nobody in the congregation is aware of that. That is secret hush-hush information. And Watchtower has plenty of them in the organization.
Yeah, it is so very clandestine. That's not only true of the, certainly true of the Masons. It's Jehovah's Witnesses, Scientology, Mormons. They all
involved in Freemasonry.
Yeah, they certainly
Joseph
are.
Smith.
Yep. You know what it's like, folks? If you go onto a car lot and you see a Chevy, you see a Ford, and you see a Chrysler. Well, they're cars, and they all do. Their basic mission is pretty much the same: get you to one place to another. The fenders are a little different. There's a lot of different peculiarities to the cars, but the mission's the same. They do things pretty much the same way. They turn the steering wheel to the left, and the car goes left. You put on the windshield wipers, and they go on. You put the radio on. Well, the Mason, all these organizations are very, very secretive. You just don't know what they're really doing. And organizations like Skull and Bones and so forth,
Yeah.
out of Yale,
right?
I mean, I remember when
Presidents have been involved in that organization.
John Kerry he was from Massachusetts. He ran for president. He was my senator, and I liked the guy. He was a Vietnam veteran, but and Bush, they ran against each other, and they were both Skull and Bones. But they could. So when they asked, well, what is Skull and Bones? What do they do? Can't tell you.
It's secret society.
And I would imagine if they told the secrets of Skull and Bones, that
there'd be serious repercussions.
Yeah, exactly.
They do a bloody oath. They really do. Yeah. So anything else you wanted to add?
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at this point, let's just stop because we don't want to go on and on. We've been discussing this for about an hour. Hit *6. You have any questions? What do you think? If you want to bring in the perilous times we're living in, maybe the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. If you want to bring that in, we'll kind of allow it, because it just seems to me that it goes with the times we're living in, and I think that relates to our program, because the Masons are they cause a lot of problems. Those folks.
Well, I think there's a lot of good people, Rich, I'd like to say, that are Freemasons.
Yep.
Just like there's a lot of good people who are Jehovah's Witnesses. They really want to help other people. They want to feel like, maybe they've made a difference in life. They've helped people while they're here on earth. But the thing is, Satan appears as an angel of light. And Watchtower, when you get love bombed by the organization, a lot of people are looking for a sense of community, a sense of family, wanting to read the Bible and understand what it teaches and understand who God is and so forth. Because we all have that eternal, God put that in our hearts for eternity. And we all have that need to be able to be spiritual people. But when you get in the organization, in the witnesses for a period of time, you get to see a lot, and you see things that really does not settle very well. Hypocrisy, child sexual abuse, other things that we have mentioned on the show, not just us, but others as well. And so, you start to think, when you got baptized and so forth, I'm going to be a witness for the rest of my life. I love Jehovah. I love the organization. I love the brothers and sisters and everything. And as time goes by, you really start to see what this organization is about. And
what it's about, and we alluded to it a few minutes ago, is they want your time, your money, and your labor.
You got to earn. You got to earn your salvation too. It's by works, Rich.
Exactly.
The Freemasons are the same way.
They tell you that you are a slave, a no good slave, and all this work that you do for them, you should be doing. And somebody was talking to Rick just before we came on, and he was saying that his mother's going to leave the lion's share of her assets when she passes to the Watchtower. Well, this is how the Watchtower makes its money. One of the ways. And this is the way the Catholic Church did it too. The Catholic Church ran this scam for centuries because the people were ignorant. Most of the people all through the centuries till we got to the 18th and 19th century were illiterate. They couldn't read it for themselves. So they had to be told what was in the Bible by the priests. Now they had a racket going. They had this preaching or this teaching called in the Catholic Church purgatory. So if you died and you had all this money, well, if you leave it to the church, they'll say prayers for you at Mass, and you'll get out of purgatory faster. Now, purgatory.
Yeah, explain what that is.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Purgatory was supposed to be a place where you suffered, you burnt your spirit. I don't know how they taught it, because your physical body is in the grave and it's deteriorating, but they taught it that you would be suffering, your soul would be suffering in purgatory unless the priests that were alive on the earth would be saying these prayers for you. And if you say a lot of prayers for this person, then you get out of purgatory faster.
So purgatory is between heaven and hell.
Yeah.
It's like a limbo area, right? For
Well, it's not limbo.
Not limbo, but it's in between, you might say. For
Exactly.
People who have never been Catholic.
What they have taught the Jehovah's Witnesses is that when you die, don't leave your homes, your cars, your assets. Don't leave it to your children. Oh no, leave it to the Watchtower, and they will do good things with it. All that money will go into the worldwide preaching work. Well, that's a BS story, folks. And I think anyone who's been on Six Screens for years realizes that they don't pay pioneers. They don't pay gas. How does the Watchtower take this money, and what do they do with it? Well, I know one thing they do with it. They have a fleet of airplanes. I know that Jeffrey Jackson has a $500,000 Bentley, and all of them
and
have
the demon car.
Yeah. They have a
race car, huh?
Hellcat. I think it's a Hellcat, 750 horse. I mean, it's crazy. That's where the money goes. A lot of the money goes to pay off lawyers and so forth for all these trials that they go through for child abuse and paying off claims to child abuse. That's where the money's going. It's not going to the worldwide witnessing work. I mean, if they were paying pioneers to go out and knock on
Or
doors,
missionaries.
that would be one thing.
Right.
But they don't.
The other thing, can I say
Yeah,
something? Rick?
sure.
Also, there's a brother that's done the YouTube. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. He's an African-American brother. Anyway, Rick has even brought this up on the show. Over in the United Kingdom, there are some beautiful, luxurious homes and apartments that are just in the millions of dollars. They just have the best of everything in it, and it's all Watchtower properties. And most JWs don't know that. Remember that, Rich?
Mhm.
They're not aware of it, and they're like, and no exaggeration, they're worth like about $1.5 million, $2 million, and Watchtower has all these properties. Maybe Rick, can eventually say. I remember it was ISBN, if I'm not mistaken, and anyway, and these properties you could go on YouTube and you could see them, and they were just so beautiful. And the majority of brothers and sisters have no clue. And I remember Rick had said, oh, it was the big mucky mucks
Mhm.
that stayed at these places. Well, Watchtower is selling these now, right? So where did they get the money in the first place for all that? I mean, the average, we know how many sisters were regular pioneers,
Mhm.
and they had a jalopy for a car or no car at all, and they relied on other sisters or brothers to get them around to get their hours in.
Mhm.
And they're going to the thrift shops to do their shopping for their clothes or whatever. We know the story. Okay. And Watchtower has all these millions of dollars of properties that is their property, and they're selling it to make a profit. Well, they got the money from all of us. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's been so much scandals with the Watchtower. And that's why I allude to the scripture in Isaiah when they say what is right. Woe to the person that says what is wrong is right and what is right is wrong, just the opposite of what it should be.
Right.
They will tell you that they're in the truth. You're in the truth. You got baptized in the truth. Everything that you get, everything you hear from the governing body is the truth.
Right.
And then they contradict that and they go, well, you know what? When it comes to pedophilia, we don't have to give the authorities the information that they are the supreme authorities. Well, not supreme, but they're authoritative over the Jehovah's Witnesses. This is law enforcement.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's theocratic warfare.
Yeah.
Tell them you don't tell them anything. Now,
Admission.
when those elders go
Keep
to
them quiet.
jail for this,
Like
right?
in Pennsylvania.
Do you think the Watchtower would use any of their lawyers?
No.
No.
They throw them under the bus.
Throw them right.
Those
under
elders
the
are thrown
bus.
under the bus. And I think many elders, unfortunately, are finding out the hard way.
Yeah, they lose their house. They can lose their freedom.
They lose their marriage.
The courts are getting really ticked off. We're hearing about it.
Even
all
in
the
New
time.
Zealand, Rich, I didn't get
New
to hear, but
Zealand,
Rick was talking about New Zealand
The
tonight.
Scandinavian countries,
Yeah.
they're taking away their legal right to
Oh,
marry people or,
Their 501(c)(3).
Yeah, they're taking away their charity
status.
status.
Yeah.
They're taking that away.
Watchtower
from them.
gets millions of dollars from different countries around the world because they're supposed to be charitable. Well, they're not charitable. They're not doing anything for any of the brothers and sisters. And then when they start the disfellowshipping, which we know, and shunning people and shunning children, that's really busting the cover on Watchtower because, like in Japan, in different places, they're saying, oh my goodness, you can't be treating our young people like that. You just can't, because so many people are distraught by losing their whole support system.
Yeah, the Jehovah's Witnesses, for years, they started saying, Jehovah doesn't want you to take a blood transfusion, even if it means your life or the life of your child or whatever. Well, if you're an adult Jehovah's Witness and that's what you care to believe, that's your prerogative. But if you're a 14, 15-year-old child that hasn't even started his life yet, and your parents say, I'll see him in the resurrection. Well, and now they're changing that.
That's
They're changing it. They change.
They get out from, freedom of religion.
Because they know because the scriptures tell you what is good has become bad, and what is bad has become what. Jehovah's Witnesses been getting sued. They don't care if your 14 or 9-year-old daughter dies. They don't care about that. But if they get sued and it costs them money,
Oh, yeah, then they make changes.
oh boy, they make changes real good. Well, you know what? You can take blood transfusion and just, a certain portion or fractions of, I mean, who the heck? When the Bible was written, and they're supposed to be Bible scholars, they're not, but they're supposed to be. When the Bible was written, do you think they took in, what the DNA is and what blood types, A, B, C, D, whatever kind of blood types they have?
Right.
Do you think they knew that?
Right.
No. Star 6. Someone want to comment on anything we've been
I just
talking
wanted
tonight?
to say also too, in Matthew, it talks about if something, it needs to be revealed. If it's unrevealed, it will be exposed. It will be revealed.
In the last days.
Yeah, and you can see that going on today,
Oh,
just all around
absolutely.
the world with everything and what we're talking about tonight as well. So
Yeah, I would say if you're looking at all these organizations, even my former religion, I mean, I went from the JWs, I was a Methodist for a lot of years, but now they're ordaining homosexuals. They're having drag queens give talks. I mean, it's crazy. I remember I went to a talk over at Rick's house maybe 20 years ago, and he had a professional ball player over to his house. Quite I forget his name, but he was quite a good player. 20-game winner as a pitcher.
he was a professional.
Professional, yeah. Rick had him over his house.
Yeah.
And, now what do they, that's exciting to have that brother give a talk.
Yeah.
Since I can't pronounce his name, but now they're putting real weird faggy people, purple hair and tons of makeup, stiletto heels, and they're men dressed as women. Oh, we got to be tolerant of everybody. That is crazy. That's that scripture in Isaiah, coming through again, 5:20, I believe.
Yeah.
I know. Star 6. I'm sure there's someone out there that wants to make a comment on what we're talking about. I'd love to have a first timer.
That'd be
really,
great.
if you've never,
Don't be afraid. We won't
if
bite
what
you.
what you hearing makes sense. If me and Connie don't sound like two Looney Tunes to you, and the stuff that we're putting across makes sense, come on, just tell us how you feel about being a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay, well, I'll go on then and then we'll just see what happens, Rich. I was going to say too is, one thing about the witnesses is there's that sense of community of a lot of the brothers who are working together, like if they're in the trades, not only for the building of the kingdom halls and so forth, but I'm just saying as far as working to earn a living for themselves and their families, right? So the same thing is very true with the Freemasons. The Freemasons is that same thing, that good old boys club, that they're not only helping the community, right, but they're also helping each other with their own businesses. And I thought that was a very interesting similarity among the witnesses as well with the Freemasons.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that there's going to be a third world war, and the ones that will be starting it will be the Masons, the clandestine ones. And that could happen. That could happen shortly.
Do you want me to get into
Go
that?
ahead. Yeah.
Okay, well, we've done a lot of research here, and I'll present some information that we found out, but this is just our opinion. Okay, so we're going to present it that way. We recommend you do your own research as well. But anyway, some of you might know who.
Hello, people.
Hello?
Hello, people. How are you doing? I'm a first-time caller to you.
Oh, good. Is this King of Dots?
Yeah, I want to. Frank.
Hello there, King of Dots. I recognize your voice.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been known as the King of Dots. People have insulted me with all kinds of names. Anyway, a little town I grew up in, Newtonsville, Ohio. You can check it out. It was supposedly a demonized town. It had a witch coven. It was named Black Crow. It hasn't grown in population since 1970. It's been around 400 people for literally, what was it, 30, 40, 55 years. But it had the first Masonic Hall in Southwest Ohio.
In
And-
Ohio. Mhm. Oh.
Southwest Ohio. Yes, and this Masonic Hall, it had progressed to becoming a church, and then it became the town hall for, if you had a ticket or something. And then people I studied with lived there.
Mm.
I converted the family of 4. I was on the assembly for that. But that's not the issue. They told me that the house was definitely haunted. That ancient Masonic Hall from the 1800s was definitely haunted. So there is truth to that. And that's my little bitty story, just a personal experience. They convinced me. And all I can say is the hall is still there. It's not torn down. I can go up there to that town today. But bad things happened. They came in the truth. The one kid, oldest one, committed suicide. The mother died of cancer. The husband, his life became a wreck. 2 marriages at the Kingdom Hall became, messed up. I can't convince them. I don't try to convince them to leave. When I study with someone, they never leave. That's the problem. I got a younger brother who's an elder. I study with him. I can't get him to leave.
Yeah.
I made a big mistake, and forgive me for that, guys. Okay.
Well, King of Dots, it's very understandable. You brought up. I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No,
Okay.
you're not cutting me off. What's your name? I didn't catch it.
Rich and Connie.
Mitch.
Rich,
Okay.
R with an R.
Rich like Richard.
Yeah, like
I don't want to twist your thinking too much.
Mitch have an orchestra. Just someone named Mitch have an orchestra or something. I mean.
No, honey, it's Rich, like short for Richard, not Mitch. Rich. Richard.
Rich.
With an R. I'm commonly known on 6 screens as Dick Borgie. I really like the name Rich. My mother used to call me Rich. So when I met Connie, I said, I really want to change my name from Dick to Rich. So she calls me Rich and everybody else calls me Dick. So, but I want to thank you for calling King of Dots. What's
Good
that?
luck with that. Anyway, I can't think of anything else to say, so I guess I should just shut up, right?
Well,
we
so
appreciate you coming on tonight.
Yeah,
King
really.
of Dots. I was going to say, we had mentioned a couple weeks ago, not sure if you heard it or not, or there's new listeners, but, there are some witnesses back in the day. Anne Marie was one of them.
Yeah.
She grew up in San
I was gonna say
Francisco.
that.
I'm originally from Northern California. And Anne Marie said that when she was going to the meetings, they had their meetings, the witnesses had their meetings in the Masonic Lodge. Now, not anybody and everybody can enter the Masonic Lodge. You have to be a Mason. You have to be a Mason. And
That.
Yep.
Well, C.T. Russell was definitely a Mason.
Weren't all the founding fathers just about for the United States Masons? Weren't
Yeah,
they?
most of them.
Many of them were.
Most of them were.
Not all of them. Many of them were.
Russell was a Mason. It's not a stretch. I mean, anyone who wants to think, but again, the Masons, I don't know if they're necessarily demonic or not. I just know that a Masonic lodge that I studied with the people in there, they had spiritual encounters, okay?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's because of the church that was in there or what, but I happen to know that I told the VAA that, remember the VAA, Tony Prime and Joel and Parker and all them.
Oh, yeah. That's the Par State Army. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I personally told Joel, I told him on the phone, I said, you looking for a place that's definitely haunted? I know one. Because he was trying to start some haunted house type of tube or something, Some people get it going, some people don't, so. But again, the people I study with, I can't get them to leave. It's terrible.
Well, That mind control is very, very strong. It's very, very strong.
Yeah,
They think they're worshiping Jehovah, but they're really worshiping the Watchtower governing body members. It's a false prophecy.
Yeah,
It
and
is.
it's false gospel also that they're saying
Yeah.
that the way to everlasting life
Is
you
your
know,
works.
is through works and through their organization. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that. The Masons believe that.
The
Mormons,
Mormons
they
believe that
all
too.
believe that.
Sure they do.
There's the way.
Works-based.
One thing I'm glad you brought it up. A lot of Jehovah's Witnesses used to meet in Masonic temples,
Yeah, lodges.
lodges,
Yeah.
and they felt comfortable there, and they were allowed. But I mean, if you were a Catholic organization and you wanted to meet, at the lodge, they wouldn't let you.
No. Mm-mm.
So I would also.
Doctor,
Somebody's talking over me, or
assembly part. I actually have an assembly part on tape where this elder, who's my book study conductor, he had been a 32nd degree Mason, and he said, "Here I learned from them that God's name was Jehovah, but I got it for free at
Mhm.
Witnesses." He
Okay.
actually
Mhm.
said that. I got that on tape at
Right.
a district assembly.
But I want to share something with you on that King of Dots. See,
Yeah.
my grandfather, my mom's parents were heavily into Freemasonry. My grandfather, I don't know how high up he went, but he was a Freemason his whole life. So I'm sure he went pretty high. I never got to meet them because they passed away before I was born. And my grandmother, his wife, was with the Eastern Star. Okay. And what's interesting with regards, I lost my train of thought. What's interesting with regards to them is, you have to follow these oaths. You have to follow these good works and so forth. You said something there, King of Dots, I wanted to say, and I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, that's okay.
well, actually, one of the things that they do is they cover for each other. If somebody does something that's bad or wrong, all the other brothers are obligated to cover it up. And a lot of officials, a lot of high-ranking officials in the Masons become judges.
Oh yeah.
And if a fellow Mason has done something wrong, they give signals to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one is the hand inside your jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Another is you hold your hands up kind of like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a signal of distress.
Or the way they stand.
Yeah, they
with their
stand.
heels,
yeah,
and the way they
like-
stand a certain way.
Yeah, they teach you that in the military. It's called standing at attention. Your heels have to be at a 45-degree angle.
Right.
So that's all part of the cigarette stuff that they do.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Yes. Okay. So you're talking about Jehovah. All right. They have the name Jehovah. Remember, they believe that all roads, all religions lead to heaven. The Freemasons, just like New Age, even Catholicism. Even Catholicism believes that too. But they believe in Jehovah. If you looked at the triangle, Jehovah's on one side, and then they have Bul. Well, Bul has reference to Baal worship.
Mhm.
Children, ancient times, the Canaanites, they were thrown in the fire as the Baal worship. And then the On has reference to Osiris. Osiris was the one-eyed Osiris back to Egypt. So they believe in all of those gods with regards to the Freemasons. That's what I was going to say.
King of Dots, me and Connie have been looking at some really good material lately. A lot of great stuff on YouTube.
Oh, there's a lot.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that
Oh my! I'm constantly combing YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
so
You learn a lot.
one of the things that I learned was that I just
Did you lose your train?
yeah, King of Dots. I'm going to blame you.
We're talking about YouTube, something that you learned, type of thing.
Yeah, there is a devil cult, and in that cult, what they do is they smoked marijuana,
Mm.
And now we see that it's horrible for you. It opens the portal for demons and all kinds of crazy, crazy stuff. And we have kingdom halls that have been sold off to people that sell marijuana. So
Oh yeah, Dan and Angela saw
Dan
that,
Angela,
remember? Mhm.
Dan and Angela Clark.
Right.
If you ever catch any of their YouTube stuff,
Yeah,
outstanding, really, really outstanding stuff.
Good stuff.
But anyway, you know, kingdom halls that have
Oh,
been dedicated. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Can I ask a question,
You
Miss?
keep thinking when you interrupt me, I lose my train of
Train of
thought,
thought.
and then I feel like
Oh, I'm going to let time.
Kingdom Hall. My
There's someone trying to get on here. I'm going to let him talk.
Thank you. Well, let me start that again. My former Kingdom Hall, Drake, Massachusetts, which I helped build and donated money to, when it was dedicated, a governing body member, I don't know if it was the president, I don't remember if it was Noor or not, but a governing body member, an anointed governing body member, came and anointed that building,
The Kingdom Hall.
the Kingdom Hall,
Yeah.
to Jehovah God.
Yeah.
It was dedicated to him. Now, the Jehovah's Witnesses will tell you that Jesus did not die on a crucifix. He died on a torture stake. Well, that Kingdom Hall that has been dedicated to Jehovah, the building was dedicated to him. I know you've heard this from me before. Quite often I bring it up. But that Kingdom Hall has that Kingdom Hall has crucifix all over it. They have sold Kingdom Halls off to a company that sold marijuana. Marijuana is used in devil worship. So is peyote and a lot of other
Native
drugs.
Americans.
Native
Yeah.
Americans.
Yeah.
Even in Southeast Asia, I saw it when I was over there. The teeth are all red. It's ugly to
Beetle
see.
juice or something.
Beetles, yeah, that's
Beetle
right.
nut or something.
Beetle nut, yeah.
Yeah.
They use those drugs. And those drugs are being sold in a Kingdom Hall or another company that sells marijuana. They sold Kingdom Halls off to other churches, other religions. Christendom is now celebrating their ceremonies in Kingdom Halls that were dedicated to Jehovah God. Does that ring any alarm bells? Does that put up any red flags to anybody out there? If you're listening to us for the first time, please come on and just say,
Don't be afraid.
don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
You know, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense. And this is what I'm trying to get at. In the last days, people just lie right to your face.
We live in such an age of deception. Oh my gosh.
From
the time that we were born and raised to see what's going on today, I mean, deception is all around 360 degrees and everything. People
I'm glad you brought
this,
that up.
question that.
I'm glad you brought that. I'm watching TV, right? And I've got the president, well, he's still the president, is telling us the border is secure. And then I have Kamala Harris, the border is secure. And I'm watching split TV. And they're 6 abreast. They go about 10 miles back, and they're all running across the border.
6 what?
6 abreast.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Side by side is abreast.
Oh, okay. Okay, I wasn't quite sure. Sometimes it's his accent,
Oh, you Yankee guy.
That's that Massachusetts accent.
But anyway,
It's like, what?
there's a stampede across the border. And the president are saying the border is secure. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi.
Hello?
You're on. Unmute yourself.
We can hear you. That's strange.
Hello?
Hello. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I was born in the Jehovah's Witnesses,
Uh-huh.
and I'm 74 years old.
Oh, okay.
After 51 years of my marriage, they took me
and took my family away from me
Oh,
and my children.
oh, I'm so sorry, honey.
I just, what they've done to people is unforgivable.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
just unforgivable.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt compelled to call in because I sit here by myself now, and I hate what they've done to people.
Yes.
You know, they've done so much to people and harmed them in so many ways, and it's not a loving God
No.
that they're talking about.
No, they worship Lucifer, honey.
That's it.
They worship Lucifer.
And Lucifer's delighted to see a family.
Oh, yeah.
I went through it. I lost
Oh,
my
yeah.
boys. I lost my wife. I lost my
Yeah,
sister.
there's nothing godly
No,
about
there's
this
nothing godly
organization. No. That's why I'm saying JW's Watchtower, May 1st, 93, page 12. Jehovah's Witnesses are the modern light bearers. We know the light bearers in the Bible, it refers to Lucifer. Okay. There is nothing godly in this organization. Unfortunately, people want to believe the lies. And you know, honey, first of all, I want to tell you, I'm not sure what your name is, sir. You don't have to tell us. I just want to say we really love you. We really, really love you.
Yeah,
And-
my name is
And you're
Jim.
the type of person why we do this show. This is why we do this show. We're trying to reach you and others as well. And God bless Rick and God bless my husband, because they're the two that started Six Greens 20 years ago. And Rick has been, and my husband has been very instrumental, especially Rick. But anyway, has been very instrumental helping people with this show not to commit suicide. Because there's a lot of people that have absolutely no one.
Well,
And they're sitting on the edge of their bed listening to all of us. And I really want to thank you for.
I've already tried it 3 times.
You tried what 3
Suicide.
times? Suicide?
Yes.
Well, you've got 2 up on me, but I gave that a real good shot.
Mhm,
People, I'm not going to give my story here because most people know it.
mhm.
But if you want to give me a phone
Yeah,
call,
We'll be happy to talk to
we'll
you.
be happy to, especially.
Sure.
I know the depression that
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going under,
So real.
and your whole world gets shattered.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time I was looking forward to
Yeah.
living on paradise Earth, and
I'm sitting here what I call my death chair, because
Mhm.
I have nothing left to live for.
Well,
You know,
honey, you do. You just don't know it right now.
exactly. Brother, can you take my phone number down? And anybody else out there that feels like, they want to end it all, if you have suicidal ideations, give me a call. Do you have a pen handy?
I've drank in antifreeze,
Mhm.
tried 2 or 3 times, and it's never accomplished. They took me to the hospital and they cleaned my blood and all this, but I don't want to live here anymore because they've taken my world away from me.
I know they have. I know they have. I mean, when I say I feel your pain, I really do, because I went through that. I went through it in 1990. I lost my 2 sons. I lost my sister. I lost my former wife. I lost a lot of good friends. Everything, poof, one day.
And they're still in the
Yeah,
organization.
and they're still in. So I know what you're feeling. So let me ask you this. Do you have a pen or pencil around?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right.
We'd love to talk to you.
Let me know when you have it.
I have it.
Okay. Here's my phone number. And anybody else out there that's listening that wants to call me, please feel free. I'm retired and I have the time and I have the experience. Okay, my area code is 978. My phone number is 809-8036. and you can call me day or night. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. I can sleep in. Doesn't matter. There's very few things that I have to do. Nothing is more important to me than
Trying to
what
help you.
what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Rich was in for 20 years.
I appreciate that because I've just went so long with nobody caring, you know.
Well, you know, honey, we do care. See,
We
that's
do.
the thing. That's what's so beautiful about this show. We really do care, you know, because we have walked this walk, the same issue, and you're not alone, honey. And we really love you. We really want to help you.
And that's why Rick Ferrin put this together.
That's why.
That's why
this show is on.
just for people like you.
Mhm.
We don't charge any money. We have the time. We have the expertise.
Mhm.
You call, or anybody else out there
Mhm.
that wants to call and talk, we definitely can do that.
And it's all confidential. We don't
Yeah,
share anything
yeah.
with anybody
Yeah,
else.
we don't charge
Yeah.
you. That would be ridiculous.
Well, we've been there. We all know what that's like.
I really, at this point, I don't care who knows
Yeah.
because, they took everything away from me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, I can tell you this, the more you talk about it, the less painful it's going to be. It's going to be a long march for you to go to the sunrise, but you'll get there. And you have a very loving God in Jesus, our Heavenly Father, our Abba. You can
I
ask
know,
the Holy Spirit.
I know, but it's like I come to the point to where I'd rather, I'm ready to give up. That's all.
Don't give up, honey.
Don't.
Don't give up. Please don't give up.
Don't give
Because
up.
You're not alone, honey. Please don't give up. Give us a call tomorrow. Please call us tomorrow. We really need that. Mhm. We really
Give up.
need that.
Don't.
Give up, honey. Don't let them win. Yeah, don't let them win. Rich lost his family and
I even had a knife on my wrist. Okay, I videotaped it and everything. Do not give up.
right.
Never, ever give up.
But it's like there's no way.
Because we love you.
Nothing I can do.
But you're wrong about that, brother.
Just being on the show is a begging.
Yeah,
sweetheart.
absolutely.
There's a lot of power in being on this show and talking to other people who have gone through the same thing, honey.
If you call me after the program, we get off around
Yeah.
around
Call us
11.
after the show. We'll be
Yeah.
off in about a half hour.
We'll
Call
pray.
us then.
We'll pray together.
Mhm.
That is so important.
Mhm.
You will feel the Holy Spirit.
I love my God. I love my God. I can't see why. I can't understand why. Let me go through this.
Because Satan runs the Watchtower. That's why.
Mhm.
Satan hates people. Satan loves to see people in anguish. He delights with that.
Thank you.
You're
It's-
made in God's image.
That's absolutely.
And you have everlasting life, and he'll never get that. And he wants to destroy you. John 10:10. He's here to kill, destroy, and steal your life. He doesn't care how he does it. He just wants to do it.
I've just been told if there's no other way except through Jehovah's Witnesses, and I don't know any other way to go. But
Well, we're gonna show you. We're gonna show you a way to go. Can you tell me just? I don't want your name now, not on the air. But can you tell me what state?
I'll never be in
What state you live in?
Indiana.
Okay, all right.
We're in South Carolina.
I was hoping that maybe you live
Close
close,
by.
but we'd come visit you. But that's
Yeah.
Indiana's a little beyond my
But
range.
that's okay. We're only a phone call away.
Man,
We're only a phone call away, honey. We're right there for you. You're not alone. And you know what? You're not the only one. There's other people that haven't called in, not just to our show, but other shows, and they're afraid to call in, and they're listening. They're listening to every single word that is said. And, we're here to show people love and kindness and help them out of the pits.
it's like I heard Rick say, just, to call in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just at my wit's end.
Well, honey, I'll tell you one thing. When you're all alone,
So
when
what,
you're by yourself,
what
you feel
my
like-
outcome would be, I feel like that I don't care anymore. You know, I don't know.
don't give up, honey. Because you know what? Life can be really, really great. You just got to take it one step at a time and day by day. Because we've all been there. We have all been there. I had mine planned out. I had my suicide planned out. I just didn't have a date, but I had it all planned out. So I'm telling you, and Rich, he hasn't seen his boys in what, 35 years?
Yeah.
It bothers me that so many people are out there and they don't know that. You know, they don't know
They don't know what, honey?
anybody that cares.
Oh, well, we care. That's, you can become a whole new family just with XJWs here. It's
Absolutely.
huge. Rick's going to have a convention next year and people get to meet each other in person. And boy, let me tell you, honey, whether it be in person or just through this show or talking on the phone, it's very powerful. It's very, very powerful, honey. Thank God for the technology we have today to be able to help people. You're not alone. See, when you feel all by yourself and you're in your room and you don't think anybody loves you, you're like in a very, very dark, dark room and you don't think there's any way out of this deep depression, love. But there really, really is. There is. And we're here to help you with that. And we're so grateful that you called tonight.
And we want to help
We
you.
really want to help you.
And brother, just keep this thought in your mind if you could. Satan is a thought caster.
Oh,
he
yeah.
throws thoughts
Oh.
into your brains.
Yes,
He is
does.
going to tell you you're worthless. You messed up your life. Everybody hates you.
You got what you deserved, right?
And the
Legion
Watchtower is
organization.
famous
Oh,
for
yeah.
humiliating people.
Shaming people.
I know what it's like
Mhm.
to be humiliated in front of your friends, your family. I got into masochism. It really, and suicide was certainly on the menu for me. I made an attempt at that. I know how bad this cult can make you. This is a satanic cult.
Mhm.
I know how sick they can make you mentally and physically.
Mhm.
We have friends that we talk to, former elders,
Oh, yeah.
that is still can't get over
Mhm.
the machinations of Satan, the devil, what he has done to them, their spiritual life and their physical life.
I took, and I was a full-time pioneer
Okay.
years,
Mhm.
and before I was married and after I was married, my
Yeah.
wife, I was full-time pioneers, and we gave everything. I give up financial things.
Right, honey.
Mhm.
You gave up everything and then you got kicked in the butt. And you think, oh my God, for what? And I lost everything.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
is your marriage over?
Yeah, I think it is.
It is over, huh?
Mhm. Yeah.
Do you have children with that?
Yeah.
With your former wife?
It sounds like it.
Listen, you're out of it. Okay? If your family's still stuck. They're still stuck in that.
That's what bothers me. My family's still in that. And
I know.
I can see it.
I was lucky. I didn't have no family. I got in it because of my husband. That was it.
I can see it.
But you know what, honey? I want to tell you something about suicide. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
That's what it is.
Okay? There's no turning back
I,
to end your life. There are options, honey.
Suicide is not something that God forgives.
No, not at all.
But I'm willing to take the consequences.
No, don't do that.
Brother,
Don't do that.
you can't.
That's not going to prove anything. Love. It hasn't proven anything.
You need to be saved.
Yeah.
Deeming of Christ's sacrifice.
Yeah. Yep, honey.
Mhm. You know, brother, you can't get your children or your ex-wife, you can't get them out in the condition you're in right now.
Right.
We can set a course for you to come out of the drudgery that you're in.
Almost 70 years into this, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And
You're our age.
I
That's
said,
how
I,
we
I,
are.
lo- I lost my wife
Mhm.
and I lost my children. Why should I care?
You need to pray for them.
God
Pray
has a purpose
that
for
they
you, honey. Believe it or not, he does. God loves you very, very much, honey. He has a purpose for your life. I know it doesn't look that way right now, but he genuinely does. You cannot let Watchtower win. And you know what? I'll tell you one other thing. You can only make decisions to change your own life, whether you're a witness or not, right? You can only make decisions in your life to change yourself. You cannot change anybody else unless they want to make those changes themselves.
What changes can I make to my life? You know, I don't have a desire to start another family or to go into another family.
right.
The family I've had for 74 years is gone. Where can I move to from here? You know?
Brother, can you make me a promise? Would you call me at 11 o'clock tonight?
In about 20
In
minutes.
about 20 minutes. I do want to leave. I would like to leave the lines open to anybody else that wants to call in. We are very, very concerned about you. We care about you. We love you. We'll talk to you all night long if that's what you need. More than that's what me and Connie are about. Our marriage is really predicated on that, predicated on 6 screens and helping people. So if you will call me at 11, I'd like to open lines to anybody else that wants to call.
I understand. I'm taking time from the other.
No, honey, no, not that. We just want to we want to give you the time that you need, and our show will finish in 20 minutes, but we would love to be able to talk to you. Will you call us in about 20 minutes?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay,
Will
you promise?
Promise?
Yeah, I promise.
Okay. So we're going to hold you to that because we really want to be here for you tonight. But you know, love, maybe there's a few other people that might need our help tonight. And
I understand. I don't want to keep anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And we would like to just be able to say hello to them too. Is that
I don't want
okay with you? Is that okay, honey, with you? Are you okay with that?
That's okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know, after this phone call tonight at 11, the healing will start.
Yeah.
And it's going to start with a prayer.
Yeah.
And you are going to feel so relieved, because I don't think you've had the ability to pray in a long time. And we will do that for you tonight. We're going to be asking for the blood of Jesus to cover you from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet.
There's a lot of power, honey.
A lot of
Praying
power.
to Jesus. A lot of power.
I just, the only two I think that understands where I'm at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We understand.
I've been through it.
Mm-hmm.
I have been through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had an 18-year marriage go down in flames.
18. It's not 18. It was 51 years.
Yeah, I know.
Years.
I know. I do.
But it still pulls on the heartstrings, and as boys and everything too, honey. Loss is loss, right?
Yeah, loss is loss. You know,
Loss
I
is
do
loss.
feel your pain, and I will tell you that we're going to close down this call right now. But you call me up at 11 when we get off. We'll talk all night if you want. Your healing is going to start at 11 o'clock tonight. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, we are so grateful.
I know it wasn't easy for you.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't. So thank you for calling.
I
And
just
Anybody else?
And the
What, honey, would you say?
for under, I should thank both of you for understanding.
Oh,
I-
yeah, honey. Well, and that's what's so beautiful
I feel
about
like
the
nobody
show.
in the world understands what I'm going through.
Yep, we do, honey. We really, really do. And you know, that's what's so beautiful about this show, not just our show, but I'm saying Six Screens, is, you know, people, there are a lot of people that are in the background that really want to talk, but they're afraid for whatever reason. And we're really there to help them. And this show, honey, this show has helped so many people. I mean, when I left the organization, don't talk to me about God. Don't even talk to me about the Bible. I don't want to hear any of it. I was so angry. And that went on for about 17 years because I felt so betrayed by Watchtower in 1975, the hypocrisy. The list goes on and on and on. So I understand the wounds. I understand the deep pain. And so do many, many others that are here. But, you know, thank God for my husband and Rick putting Six Screens together to help people. It's the only platform where people, we're live. This is live. This is going on right now. And people can come in around the world and just talk to us. And we love people. We really love people, want to help them.
When I saw this number, I thought, you know, maybe I could talk to somebody that knows what's going on. You know,
Yeah, that's why we're here, love.
That's right.
That's why we are here. And that's why Rick is here. And that's why Anne Marie and different ones are here. Okay. We understand the pain. Trust me, we really understand the pain. It's deep. But you know what, love? I can tell you this. You can heal. And I'm telling you, this show, I didn't find this show till like maybe 2015. It was like, holy mackerel. I knew there were a lot of XJWs. I just didn't know where to find them. This show was very healed. I was very angry. I was very, very angry. And it took me a long time to call, but it helped heal me, love.
every weekend, and it's just like living my life over again. You know,
Right.
what I had, and
But you know what, honey? There is hope.
I
I'm telling you, there's hope, and you can heal. I promise you. We are absolute. We both would have committed suicide, and we didn't even know each other. We just got married a year ago. I found Rich on Six Screens, and he found me on Six Screens. There's hope, honey. There's hope. I'm telling you. There's and genuine love and genuine friendship. We all need that. We all really, really need that.
yeah, I sit here with nothing in my life anymore. You know.
Mhm. Well, honey, when the show finishes, we'll expect your call, and we'll look forward to talking to you tonight. Okay?
Thank you for
We
calling.
really, really, really mean that.
And if there's anybody else out there that wants to give us a call,
I'm sorry for holding you up tonight.
That's okay, honey.
No,
Don't be
that's-
sorry.
don't be sorry.
Don't
Just-
be sorry.
just call us in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Please do, because
Yeah.
we don't
15
have your
minutes.
number. We don't have your number. We don't have your name. We just know you're from Indiana, so we don't have any way of calling you back. So we really do need you to call us.
I'll call back in 20 minutes.
Okay,
Okay.
honey, sounds good.
That 978-809-8036.
Thank you.
8036. Mhm.
This is what God's all about. And
Yeah.
you don't get it in Jehovah's Witnesses. You don't get that from Jehovah's Witnesses.
No, honey.
It's their governing body and all that stuff. Not a relationship with our God.
That's
You
right.
know,
That's right. That's right. You know, because Jesus even said, you'll know my disciples by the love you have among yourselves, and you'll know them by their fruit. Honey, there's no love in this organization. Not when you start destroying people's lives and their families and disintegrating them. And, you know, it's cruel, it's wicked.
there's no love. There's no love there. And I'll call you back. I'll let you go. You can talk to other people.
Thank you for calling.
We'll talk to you, honey,
We'll
pretty
talk
soon,
in
okay?
15 minutes,
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Star 6, if anybody else out there feels the same way as this brother, wants to talk to us or even
Make a comment on our show.
Yeah.
Anything that we said.
anything
that
about the
was
Freemasons or the
interest
witnesses.
of
Or,
you, you know.
I wanted to talk about the Freemasons because
Oh,
my
yeah.
grandmother used to be
Yeah.
one.
Hello. Hello.
Oh,
it's that girl.
call you back. Bye.
Honey, thank you, sweetheart. Okay, sister, go ahead, honey.
With the
I'd love to hear your
Freemasons.
thoughts. Yeah. Go ahead.
And they called my mama, and because he was in the hospital and he was in the hallway, and so she was the first one to come to him, and he was saying how thirsty he was because he was dying. And when she got him a glass of water, then all of a sudden he started like cussing God out.
Who's
Right.
this? Who are
And
you
don't
talking
put in the
about?
flames.
Who are you talking about?
Interesting, right?
I'm sorry, honey. Say it
What a
again.
phone you-
I didn't hear that. Who was it?
My grandfather,
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
he was a Mason.
He was a Mason. Okay.
Okay.
You know, something was going on with him. And they just had him in the hallway, you know, on a gurney.
Okay.
So she was kind of shocked. You know, I heard from my sister. I know that my mom, the only thing she told me when I walked in the house is my daddy went to hell right in front of me. I didn't know the story. My sister told me later, you know, what happened. Now, my aunt would tell you, no, we went together, you know, it didn't happen. Well, I don't believe her. I would believe my mom. My mom wouldn't lie, right? If she saw him go somewhere, well, what happened, everybody came in, they made him get an operation, but he died anyway. But he was already gone.
Mm-hmm.
And he told God not to put him in the flames. That's why she knew about hell, you know, that he went there. And it just was weird to her, you know, but my grandmother, she was an Eastern Star,
Okay.
you know, like you guys were talking about, the women.
Yep.
And she got saved, though. We went to go see Mario Murillo, a pastor in Oakland, and
Okay.
she went down and asked Christ to come into her life.
Yeah.
Well, she died about a month later.
Okay.
So at least I know I get to see Grandma.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm happy about that. And
Yeah.
my aunt went down at the same time because she had cancer. So my mom, my aunt, and my grandmother all went down and got saved.
Mm.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I didn't, you know, I mean, I wasn't always a Jehovah's Witness. My husband is the one who got me into it.
Okay.
In
Oh.
98, I got them to disfellowship me because I was smoking, and they wouldn't let me wear packs. They said, it's like taking a blood transfusion.
Yeah.
I
Right.
said, well, disfellowship me then.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't want to. I said to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I was going out like 20, 30 minutes out of my town just to get a pack of cigarettes so they wouldn't catch me with them. You know, like be right behind me.
Right.
It's such a small town
Yeah.
and stuff. So 20 years later, and then, like I said, I tried it. I tried offering myself. You know, I even recorded it. I couldn't believe it. I looked at that and I was like, oh my God. I I was on lorazepam.
Okay.
I had a breakdown a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
What I would do is I was taking them like candy.
Oh,
So
boy.
I wasn't even all there.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, I started just to go back to church.
Mm.
I went through 20 years from being disfellowship, just doing whatever I wanted.
How long, honey, were you at JW?
What? I
How
was, okay,
long?
me and my husband got married in 1987, I do believe.
Okay.
And then we got baptized in 88.
Okay.
And then I got out in 98.
Okay. So you were in about 10 years.
Yes. And I never got nobody in.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends laughed at me. My family wouldn't listen to me, you know. So to me, I feel like I'm safeguarded.
Mm.
I didn't get nobody into it.
Right. But you're a convert. You weren't born in. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Spirit around me, you know, not to get anybody in there.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you still married to your husband or no? That was a witness.
What? It was my husband.
Right. Are you still married to him, honey? Or are you
Witnesses.
divorced? Huh?
Oh, no, he died.
Oh, he died. I'm sorry.
He died in 98.
Okay. I did not hear that.
And
I'm
same
sorry.
year I got disfellowship.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids were young. So, you know, and I never went back. I never went back to the Kingdom Hall.
And how are your kids doing? Are they still in the organization or not?
My daughter's kind of listening to me with God, but my boys, they just don't. They're not interested, which is sad.
But
You
are
know.
your okay? So your kids are not associated with the witnesses?
No, they were too young.
They were too young. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, you know, what happens is that when, I'm not saying this is the case.
My sister told me I got that God, he saved me when they disfellowshipped me.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's even what Rick says, you know.
Yeah, really. Rick always
He's
says.
so glad that Satan kicked him out of his organization, right?
Yeah.
Right. But
Because-
of course, back then I didn't think anything about it because I still thought it was the truth, even though I got disfellowship because I figured it was because of something I was doing and,
right.
you know.
So they needed to shame you because you were a smoker and all that. Yeah, yeah. But as you find out as time goes on, you know, honey, at one time you used to be able to smoke. And people would take breaks at the Kingdom Hall and go out and have a smoke back in the day before I came.
That stopped in 71.
Right.
It stopped in 71.
71.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in 71.
Mm-hmm.
But, wow, I didn't figure it out until probably when you know, when they had those where they would, oh man, that one guy, I love that guy too. Love. Remember Chuck Love? And he was talking about, he was a radio announcer. That show, you know, that part of that group. Well, when I started listening to people, and you know, how they were coming out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I was in a cult.
Yeah, right.
That's when I found it out. I was in a cult all that time.
Right.
And everybody kept telling me it was a cult, and I kept saying, no, it's not.
Right.
It's fruit,
Right.
you know.
Honey, I want to ask you, are you originally from the San Francisco Bay Area?
Bring those mason rings.
Honey, I have a question for you. You said you went and saw Mario Murillo in Oakland. Are you from the Bay Area?
Yes, I was from the Bay Area, and right now I'm in Mendocino County. I have been.
Okay, I'm originally from the Bay Area too. Yep.
Yeah.
From the peninsula, San Mateo County, the peninsula, Northern Cal, just outside of the city.
Yeah, I'm in Mendocino now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you're
I've
further
been
up north.
up here since my husband moved me up here.
Yeah. Yeah. Not so congested.
I kind of like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it is mellow.
Yeah, it is.
Even Social Security told me, you don't want to move to the Bay Area.
It's changed a lot.
You just don't. You don't.
A lot of traffic, a lot of people.
You're
I
at.
think we have time for one more caller. If there's anybody out there,
Okay.
we'd love to have.
Guys, go.
Didn't mean to cut you off, but we're really running. Only got about 4 minutes left.
Thank you, sweetheart, for your call.
I just, my spirit tells me that there's somebody
Someone
out
else?
there
Mhm.
that really wants to call in
Mhm.
and would like you to do that, especially if you're a first time caller.
Oh, we'd love to hear
Just
from
call
you.
up and say, hi, you know,
We'd really love to hear from you.
we like your program or we don't like your program. I don't care. Just call up and say hi. Go ahead, brother.
Wanted to share a point that you have a valid point about this being all this cult being satanic and connected to the masonry. You do have, I agree on that.
Well, thank you.
Is this Dallas?
But
Is this Dallas?
yes.
Okay, Dallas. Yeah, I recognize that voice. Well, go ahead, honey. What else would you like to say? We appreciate you calling in.
I call, instead of Kingdom Hall, you know what I call it? Call them the Kingdom Hell and of Satan's witness.
You
then
spell hall a little bit different, huh?
I got to get a drink of water.
You put an E instead of an A?
Because
you
it is that. I'm sorry that one who called, that what he's experiencing, I should really pray for that.
Yes.
Yes, you should.
Yes.
All of us.
Yeah. A lot of power in love and prayer. That's for sure.
Mhm.
And I know, trust me, I know there's some people on here, they don't want to be talking about God. They don't want to be praying to God. Don't talk to me about religion. Don't talk to me about the Bible. I get it. I used to be one of those. Trust me. It takes a while. Everyone's different, but it takes a while to heal those wounds because they're deep. But I'm going to tell you, it's possible. And you can have an amazing, amazing life. You just take it step by step. And we and Rick, I always say Rick, so excuse me for saying that. I call him Rick, I call him Rich. But we're here for people. We really are. There's a lot of people waking up. Thank goodness.
We all know that there's promise that you'll be able to pet everything and all that, all those stuff. It's all a folly right there, and everything, whole thing's phony, and it's a total fraud right there, through and through.
Well, honey, they have a false gospel. Okay, they have a false gospel. Watchtower does. So do the Mormons and Scientologists. They're all connected to the occult. I can't emphasize that enough. And I was going to bring this up. I don't know if we have a lot of time, but I will share this. There's a lot of similarities between the Watchtower Bible Tract Society and who the World Economic Forum is, that's run by Klaus Schwab. I don't know if you folks know that, because I know a lot of JWs are not involved in politics, but you really need to open up your eyes and pay attention, because there's a lot of similarities there. I'll just say this, and this is our opinion, okay? This is our opinion. But the thing is, Adolf Hitler, he had absolute control. With the Third Reich, he wanted to take over the whole world. in the 40s. He took control of the news media. He took control of the government. He took control of education. And he also took control of the medical system. Sound familiar today? Anyway, and he pushed all of his propaganda. Okay, people were not able to have the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. That was taken away. As you know, the Jews, 6 to 7 million of them, were put in concentration camps. Auschwitz in Poland was one of the largest, and people were exterminated. Okay, so what's my point? And I'm going to emphasize, this is our opinion, okay? Klaus Schwab, he is a German. He grew up in Germany during the time of Adolf Hitler, and his father had a business working for
Eubonics.
well, Adolf
Lab.
Hitler. He had some kind of
He had a lab.
He had a lab.
Yeah.
Okay. Adolf Hitler wanted to do genetic experiments on people, and he definitely did that with twins. All right. And anyway, now, he didn't survive with the Third Reich. So Klaus Schwab, he's going to continue this World Economic Forum until the year 2025. Then it's going to be taken over by someone by the name of Yuval. It's a different name. Y-U-V, like Victor, A-L. Yuval Noah Harari. H-A-R-A-T-I. Okay, so you say, well, so what? What's the big deal? Well, the purpose is like with the Third Reich, but it's now called the Fourth Industrial Revolution. You can go on the website of the World Economic Forum. You can research all this. They put it out there so people know what's going on. Their purpose is to depopulate the world. Their purpose is to have no children, that the elite are going to control the world and take all of your assets, your money, your home, your assets, your properties and everything. So you have the super elite, and then you have the peasants. Then the other thing that they want to get involved in, okay, these are the billionaires. Okay, check this out for yourself, people. I'm not trying to say anything that's not true. You can research it yourself. They want to do transhumanism 2.0, which is where they get into the genetics of your body and your DNA, and they want to tweak it so that you become
Your slave.
non-human. That's what it is, through the genetics and through the technology of the computers. Their purpose is to create longevity and good health. And this is what I wanted to say. Okay, so you have the Freemasons. Like I said, this is our opinion. You have the Freemasons, you have the JWs, you have all these groups that are all connected. Okay, they're run by Lucifer. And they create chaos. They have a motto. Their motto is
Very important, folks.
You create chaos. That's their agenda. If I can find it in my notes here. They create this chaos. That's their motto. In the world, as you see what's going on today with all this chaos, and their purpose is to bring order. Okay, how do they bring order? They're going to bring order through Lucifer. Now, what do they call this? The New World Order, the Great Reset.
And what's the name of the Jehovah's Witness Bible?
Right, New World Order.
New World Order.
The New World Translation. The New Order. That we used to call it the New Order, then it was changed to the New System. And you see a lot of parallels between Jehovah's Witnesses and what this World Economic Forum is doing. No children. How many witnesses do you know have kids? How many of us were taught, oh, don't have children, the new system's coming, the New World Order's coming? Okay, so it's our opinion. We just want you to do the research. We just want people to be aware that there are parallels. So we're trying to help people connect the dots. And, also the other thing, is it any surprise that Watchtower does not want anybody involved in politics? Don't vote, don't salute the flag, don't get involved in politics. Don't worry about voting for the president. You got to stay completely neutral. Well, even who was it, Rich? The second president, Rutherford.
Rutherford.
He had a
wrote-
letter. Tell him about what he did with Hitler.
Yeah, you're supposed to be neutral, have nothing to do with the worldly governments. He's writing letters to Hitler saying, well, he got a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses killed
Oh yeah.
because one time he expressed them as Zionists, Zion's Watchtower, and so forth. So that's why they went after the Jehovah's Witnesses.
In the
But
concentration camps.
he wrote a letter, and I did a program on this one time. He wrote a letter. We opened up the letter and went through it, and he was telling Hitler he agreed with what he was doing with the final solution, which was mass murder of 6 million Jews.
Yeah. It'd be great to pull that letter up because I would love to do a show on that. Rick
It's
has
coming.
that letter, and my husband had the letter, and we've just moved, and we're not quite sure where it is, but I would love to get that letter and to have a show just on that, because a lot of JWs, that blows their socks off. It's like, oh no, this has got to be a fake letter. No, it's not a fake letter. Rutherford wrote that letter to Adolf Hitler to say, well, we're buddies.
Yeah,
Right.
well, it's documented, just like it's documented that the Watchtower became an NGO of
United Nations.
United Nations.
Right.
It's documented. They can't get around it. So, well, brother, it's not such a bad thing. At one time, they told you if you were a member or had anything to do with the Watchtower, I'm sorry, United Nations, the harlot, the wild beast coming out of the ocean, you definitely weren't going to be resurrected or make it into through Armageddon.
Right.
And then, well,
and be no part of the world, remember?
When they're caught, then what's not a big thing? It was just a library card. That was a lie.
Right.
That was a lie. It wasn't. You didn't need a library card to go to.
No.
I mean, couldn't Jehovah's Holy Spirit tell them what they need to know?
Well, they never had Jehovah's Holy
Well, of
Spirit.
course
That's
not.
the problem with the
Of course not.
organization.
Of course not.
See, it's an age of deception. People want to believe the lies, and you don't realize it's a lie until you can really do your own research and check this out, what we're saying to be very, very true, and others as well. I know it's a big pill to swallow, but you know what? Do you want to spend your whole life believing a lie and wasting your time, your effort, your money, your resources on something that's not true? Right? Their prophets, their Bible was inspired by Johannes Grieber, and Johannes Grieber was married to a professed spirit medium.
Yeah.
I heard about that. I heard about that. Johannes Grieber.
Yeah.
He's the one that originated the New World Translation, or more
That's
like the New World Translation of the false doctrine. It was
That's
through
exactly
the
right.
spirit medium wife.
Right. That's exactly right.
If you took a Jehovah's Witness Bible from the 50s or even 40s or 50s, right? And you get this this amalgamation of lies called the Bible, New World Translation, all right? And you go scripture to scripture to scripture, boy, you're going to find a lot of scriptures deleted.
John 8.
John 8, that applies to me about adultery. It used to be, John 8:1 was not about the woman that committed adultery. Then they moved it down into the footnotes. Now it's completely out of the Bible.
Right.
It's not even in there anymore.
Right. Or John 1:1. Saying a God.
I had a woman, maybe 12 or 13 years ago. She wrote a book, and she did a study. She got a Jehovah's Witness Bible from the 50s, and she went scripture to scripture, scripture to scripture, and she said there were just so many she couldn't even list them.
Oh yeah. See, and the Jehovah's Witnesses, you're not allowed. Now they have the silver sword, so you're not even allowed to bring in American Standard Version, King James Version, anything like that. And now everything they have nowadays is all on the internet. So what's wrong with bringing in another version of the Bible? I mean, talk about control.
Oh yeah,
it has to be their version only. I mean, people, this is a red flag. Something is seriously wrong. So we really just want you to know this.
Well, I think right now we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I know we're over about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we are.
I would just say this kind of in closing.
Yeah.
if you'd allow. If what we say makes sense,
Hmm.
there are other people getting hurt by the Watchtower. Find a way to let them come onto 6 screens, whether you write the phone number down, send them an anonymous letter,
Or text,
or
or
say,
email,
listen,
or Reddit, or anything.
I went on YouTube. Dan and Angela have some really, really great stuff
Yeah,
out
they
there.
do.
They really do their homework and they present really well. And that JW Examiner, what's that guy's
Oh,
name?
yeah, he's good. John Ledger.
John Ledger.
Yeah.
That guy's phenomenal.
That's Jimmy Bell's friend.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
kudos to him.
Yeah.
He
There's a lot of-
presents, and our friend from Canada does a really
Vern,
good job.
Fixing My
yeah,
Faith.
yeah.
There's a lot of them. There are a lot of people that are waking up with all of these shows. Excellent. People
Yeah.
put their heart and soul in it. Rose is another gal. Her name is Rose. Oh my gosh. There's that gal from California, Christy. I'm not sure if she's still around, but boy, she has some great videos.
Well, I want to get off because, our friend said he was going to call us
Yes.
a little after 11 and
Yes.
we're about 15 minutes over.
Yes. Yes.
So, Rick, we're going to close. I would just say to everybody, God bless you,
Mm.
and we will see you and hear from you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. We love everybody.
Love you.
Thank you so much for coming
Take
on.
Dick
Thank-
and Connie.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sweetheart. Is Rick there?
If not, we'll keep on
Rick, are
going.
you there?
Car 54, where are you?
He might be asleep. I don't know. He starts
Well,
early.
there's a guy that really busts his backside for people.
Oh, yeah.
Connie was saying that, me and Rick started this
Yes.
20 years ago. Well, that's giving me a lot of credit that I
Well, it
don't
is,
deserve.
Well,
Nah, it was Rick Inarnez at the time. He'll always be 99.9%
that is true.
of 6 screens.
But you had your part.
I
too,
love
but
you. I love
You
you
had
giving
your
me-
part. You
I
had
had, and
He did.
folks,
he had
it
his
feels
part.
good. I want to tell you, Rick always says it feels good to protest. It feels good to have a program on 6 screens.
Mm.
Right now, there's nothing I could do. Me and Connie could be out dancing and having a couple
Oh,
of drinks.
that'd be fun. Go up, put on the cut
And you
the
know
rug.
what? This is so much better. Just
Well, we
doing
love
what we're
everybody.
doing,
Yeah, we really want
we're going to go to bed and we're going to feel really, really good about today.
Yeah.
I feel wonderful about that brother that
Yes,
called.
Indiana. We're looking forward to
from
it.
it. We're looking forward. Is my phone off? Did you shut it
That's
off?
okay, honey. I'll put it back
Yeah,
on.
put it back
I
on.
couldn't have it on with this. at
Right,
the
I
same
understand.
time.
I just didn't want him
Yeah.
to call.
No, I know, but we have turned this off.
Oh, okay,
We're just
fine.
waiting for Rick.
Fine.
And Gilbert has his show next. So anyway, we hope we've been able to give you informative information, help to educate you. Maybe it's your first time listening to 6 screens. I know there was something on Reddit. Somebody was in dire straits and I posted something on Reddit and I advertised the show and 6 screens. And there's help out there. People really need to be aware of that. And we just really love you very, very much. And we want to be able to help you.
Yeah, I do want to say something. Gilbert's coming on after us,
Mhm,
and I've caught a number of Gilbert's videos, and they're excellent also.
mhm,
There's a lot of good stuff out there.
mhm.
Please tell somebody, especially a Jehovah's Witness, you're in a cult. It's going to hurt you. It hurts a lot of people. Get out, get out, get out.
Mhm. Rick, are you there? Should
Rick,
we call him?
I wouldn't mind going overtime, but I told that brother,
I'll call him. You keep going, Rich.
all right,
I'll call Rick. Maybe he fell asleep. He starts early, like,
usually 5 o'clock
5
in
in
the
the
morning.
morning.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
5 in
here's
the
a guy
morning.
that puts a lot of time
Talk about
and
loving
money.
people.
and love into this.
Let me see if you can. I mean, Susan,
That's Susan too. Sometimes Susan gets sick and he's got to run off.
Maybe she fell asleep too. I don't know.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we have some more time left, I guess. Anybody else want to comment? Anyone want to go up to Rick's house and ring his doorbell?
Generally, he's there. I think he's tired. Let me call him in the other room.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I hope everybody's planning on August the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of next year, 2025. You know, I just kind of a thought. I'll be 76. I'm 3 weeks younger than Rick, and it seemed like time is going by so fast. It just seemed like 2 weeks ago we finished our program, and so we put this away for another week and a half before we work on another program, and boom, it's right here. The time. I can't believe. First of all, I can't believe I'm 76 years old. It seemed like yesterday I was begging my father for the car so I could go to the prom. You know, time goes by. Time goes by. Is anybody out there? Somebody hit *6. I know I asked you to. I know I said I was going to close it down, but Rick hasn't. Maybe he has. I don't know.
It's just ringing. He's not picking up. Uh-oh, call ended, Rich.
What's that?
Honey, it's just ringing and then the call ends.
Oh,
I think he maybe fell asleep.
yeah, could be. Gilbert, are you on there by any chance? Gilbert? I think your program is next.
Yeah.
Hey, Gil, you out there? His brother's Jesse, right?
His brother's Jesse.
Jesse, yeah. Gil and Jesse, are you out there?
I can't get through it. He's not picking up, right?
Maybe we're cut off. Is
I
that
don't know.
possible?
I don't know. Generally, Susan's awake.
There's somebody there.
Somebody there?
*6.
Hello? Is anybody there on the show? We hear someone. I have a feeling Rick fell asleep. That's what I think. I've called him twice. It starts to ring a couple of times and then it hangs up.
Mm-hmm.
People are quiet tonight.
Well, I think, Gilbert, are you waiting in the wings out there? Because I think your program starts at 11. Normally, I would stay on for hours. I mean, I love being on 6 screens, but we promised that brother that called it.
Yeah.
If he called me at 11 and I can't open my phone and have the computer run.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording,
I think
you may
he's
hang up
asleep.
or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Rick. It's Connie and Rich. We're just trying to get a hold of you. It's about 11:17. And to have you close us down so Gilbert can come on his show. Are you there, Rick? Call us back if you can. Maybe you went to sleep. I think you're probably really exhausted.
Yeah, I talked
Because he
to
has a show tomorrow, too. Don't forget.
I talked to Rick yesterday, and we had her on speakerphone, and Connie said to me, "He sounds really,
very
really tired." You talk about a person that burns the candle at both ends. That is Rick Farron. He's up early in the morning on Saturday, getting these programs all lined up.
Sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning.
Doing his
But
research.
a lot of times 4 or 5 in the morning. So by this time, he's exhausted.
Well, you got a 76-year-old man, climbing up poles and putting up signs and, working a business. And he takes thousands of phone calls from all over the world.
Well, I just don't know what to do. I mean, we can close down, but the thing is that Gilbert needs to come on, but Rick has to come on in order to do the link and make the connection.
Yeah.
So I sort of feel bad because I know Gilbert and his brother are on hold. I don't know their number, and there's no way we can make that connection for them. Gilbert, are you there? If so, could you just *6?
I don't think that. Gilbert, can you give me a phone call? It's area code 978 The number is 809-8036. Could you give me a call, Gilbert, and let me know if you're in the wings or what's going on? And matter of fact, that phone number for anybody out there that wants to call us feels suicidal, please give me a call. I don't usually give it. This is, I think, probably only the second time I've ever get out my phone number, but I really feel good about doing that tonight.
Well, the thing is, we want to take that call from that gentleman.
Yeah, we want to take that call.
Yeah. We don't want him to think that, you know, we're trying to brush him off.
I'm open.
Okay.
I'm
And have
open.
the volume up. Okay. Somebody just left you a message.
602.
Don't say
Send.
the number.
I won't.
Send me the what? Let's see. Somebody sent us a text. Let's see what it says.
Let's go, but here we go.
Is it Gilbert?
Yeah.
Oh, there we are. Okay, that's his email. Send me the Streamline link.
Okay.
The problem is I don't know how to do that. How do I send you the Streamline link? Let's see. Hold on. Maybe I can figure this out. Okay, I'm going to close down here. Let me just try something, Gilbert. Give me, I need that. He wants me to link that to Emerge.
I got it.
I need his email.
I got it.
Let's see. I think Rick just fell asleep. Okay, hold on. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I need this to work. Okay. Here's Rick. Okay, now, how do I send this to him? Okay, let's try this. Forward. Give me that email, honey. Let's see. Rick emailed you a link. Can you forward it? I'm trying. Okay, here we go. Let's try that. Hold on. Don't touch.
I won't touch it. Relax.
Well, don't. Honey, I got to read it. You're moving it, so I can't read it. ZALEZZ. Where's that? At. Oh, God. What the heck my stupid thing did here? I'm trying to send it, and it just screwed up. All right. I don't know why it did that. I was just right in the middle of sending it to him. No, it's always likes to. Come on. Okay, here we go. Let's go into inbox. Okay, let's try it again. All right. Let me send this to him. Forward. Oh, just as I'm trying to send it.
Hello? Hey, how are you? That's our call.
But I need the email, honey. I need the email.
Yes, right now we're having a technical problem. I have your phone number. We're on 6 screens. I will call you as soon as I can clear the phone. Okay, I will call you.
Just give us a couple minutes, honey. I have to send it to the next person because Rick has fallen asleep. We'll call you right back, okay? Okay, dear.
I'll do it.
Yeah, just give me that email. Okay, that's what I need.
Relax. You're making me nervous. There you go.
Okay. Okay, at. Okay, so this.
Hey, so I think this is Gilbert. So I think what we're going to do.
Here, honey, I'm going to send it to you right now, Gilbert. Okay, honey, you should have it right now.
Hey, so I think this is Gilbert. So I think what we're going to do. Here, honey, I'm going to send it to you right now, Gilbert. Okay.
Do you see it?
You should have it right now. Okay. Hey, so I think this is Gilbert. So I think what we're going to do. Here, honey, I'm going to send it to you right now, Gilbert. Okay.
Yeah, he worked so hard, old Rick. Little Rick, he worked so hard, and I feel sorry. He worked so hard.
Do you have it, Gilbert?
No, but you know what? We're probably just gonna go live on StreamYard on my channel, GG for GB.
Okay.
Here, I saw it. I saw the link. But you know what? Because of the phone line and everything, and it'd probably just be better
Okay.
go on
Okay.
on my YouTube. So if you guys type in GG for GB on YouTube, I'll be there pretty soon.
Well, honey, what we're going to do is we're going to take this call from this gentleman. He just called us. So I'm going to close down here. If you can take it from here, Gilbert.
Okay, yeah, the whole thing is going to be closed, so we're just going to close. Yeah, but I'll take it from here.
Can you take it from there and continue the show?
No, well, I'm just going to let it be blank, and then when Rick wakes up, he'll close it.
Okay, but I mean, you can do your show now, though, if I hang up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
So,
Okay, honey, I'm going to close down. So thank you, Gilbert.
not a problem.
Okay, honey. Let me close this down.
Shit, Jesse, I don't want to do this.
Claro. You're not the real. I'm to the real universe. Is anybody still there? Anyone still listening? Still here. Hey, how's it going? Hey, is this Gilbert? Is this Gilbert or Jesse? No, my name is Aaron. I'm just seeing if anyone's still on the line and wants to talk. You know, I know it's kind of hard to keep the program going without a host, but it is. I've heard you on this show before. I have. Oh yeah, I call in every now and then, and I show up on camera whenever Rick puts the link in, but I don't see a link now, so. Yeah, it's really strange that no one can get a hold of Rick or Susan. I know Debbie just put in the comments she's worried about them, but I feel like they just fell asleep or something. Yeah. I haven't heard Deb on there for a while. I just haven't. I've been concerned.
concerned about Rick and Susan, or
them, and of course Deb not being on.
Debbie. Yeah, Debbie she had went through some
If you are the host, press star now. Otherwise, please wait, and you will please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash. If you do not know your PIN, please enter pound. Thank you. There are 3 participants in the conference. Recording did not start because your storage is full. Please log in and delete recordings or purchase more storage from your account.
No.
Okay, yeah, then I
That's
don't know
not
you.
me.
No, actually, I don't know you. What state do you live in?
I live in North Carolina.
Oh, nice. I think that's where Connie and Richard live.
I thought they lived in South Carolina, unless I'm mistaken.
Oh, I don't know. In my memory, it's North Carolina, but I could be wrong.
Either one of us. And it's the Aberdeen area of North Carolina.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. The what side leaning part of North Carolina?
Aberdeen.
Oh, Aberdeen. Okay.
Central Aberdeen, Southern Pines.
Oh, Southern Pines. Okay, that sounds familiar.
Or Aberdeen there. Yeah.
Were you pretty much raised up in the Jehovah's Witnesses from childhood?
Yes. But you know what? There came a time in life where ones that I love, I've seen some things, and it caused me to start waking up and wanting to have a real relationship with our Lord.
Yeah. Oh, well, can I ask you, around what age were you when you started to awaken about the truth about the truth?
And I think it came before the pandemic a little bit, but then more so than being at home, then away from it. The more you're away from indoctrination, the more you wake up. But sometimes it's more gradual for others than some of them. It's more quickly, and some it's more gradual. Everybody has their own pace.
Yeah. So do you mind telling me around what age you started to question things?
Not sure, but I think I've always been at least a PIMQ and then turned PIMO.
Oh, okay.
Something
I hear you.
Never seemed right to me. They never were lined up with my thinking. They just didn't line up right.
Yeah. Well, were you pretty much a believing witness until at least 30 years of your life or less? Oh, are you still there?
Hello, let me just check and see what's up with Rick and what's going on. I'll be right with you.
Oh, sure. Hey, Susan.
What's that?
Yeah, I just Gilbert and
You there? Anyone there?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here.
Rick is checking. Hold on.
Go ahead. You're on the 6 screens. Go ahead. What's happening here? Did you guys want to speak up? Go ahead right now.
Are we there? Is there, right?
Go
Anybody?
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You're on the 6 screens.
Is there another person? Is this for the Gilbert show for Gilbert and Jesse?
Yeah, hold on. We're trying to get Gilbert and Jesse on here, so just hang in here 1 second. We'll get them on shortly, so just hang in here, okay?
All right, and it's nice that you're back because we were so many of us we just concerned for you because out of love for you.
Well, thank you very much. I'm not sure what happened here, but somehow some things just disconnected, or when you're doing a live program, things like this do happen. So just hang in. We'll see if we can't reconnect everything, okay?
You got it.
All right. Gilbert and Jesse, what's happening here? Can we get you guys connected? We're not sure. Just hang in here 1 second. We'll get right back to you, trying to get this thing straightened out.
So, get ready. I'm going to take the note. The last big that every goes up and through. He's another spot. He's a one spot. He's a whole group. They are fine guys. It's a fine old. And Watchtower, my Watchtower is doing Facebook survey. I don't think, yeah.
All right. All right. Okay. Let's check this out. Okay.
But you can watch me on YouTube on their live.